What does that mean, anyway? The expression dates from the 14th century. Langland, Shakespeare, and Dickens all used it. Dickens was of the opinion that a coffin nail is deader, but there you are. Addie reached for her cup of cold tea and downed it in one gulp, wishing it was gin, brandy, anything to make Rupert go away. But if she were drunk, more Ruperts, like those fabled pink elephants, might actually appear. It was a conundrum. I'll try to stay out of your hair as much as possible. Speaking of which, thank God you haven't cut it into one of those awful shingles. I always did like your hair. Addie's hand went up involuntarily to the golden roll she'd so recently pinned up without her maid's assistance. Beckett was seeing to Addie's impulsive sister Cecilia, who, apart from her sudden conversion to vegetarianism, had cut her hair into a bob that was more or less untamable because of the stubborn Merrill curls. Beckett had her work cut out for her. C resembled someone who had stuck their finger in the newly rewired sockets of Compton Chase and lived to tell the tale. "What's wrong with my dress?" Addie asked, peeved. Though she knew he wasn't truly there, that he was dead, he still had the ability to irritate her, even in her imagination. "It's far too flimsy and sheer and short. I can practically see your nipples if I squint hard enough. I admit you do have lovely legs, but everyone and his brother doesn't have to see them. Your father would not be pleased." "My father is dead." Panicked, she looked around her bedroom. "My God, he's not going to turn up too, is he?" "Only one ghost at a time, I believe. I'm still not entirely conversant with the rules. It's been a confusing few months." "It's the very latest style," Addie said to herself, and only to herself, tugging down the beaded skirt. It really could have been much shorter. She'd had it sent over from Paris after a flurry of letters and telegrams back and forth from Charles Frederick Worth's grandson, Jacques, who had recently taken over the famous fashion house. Addie had sketched the initial design herself, not that she had any pretensions to become a couturier. A marquis's daughter was supposed to be decorative and possibly witty and wise, but never work. "I don't like it. But then so little appeals to me nowadays. Ennui is my middle name, but I hope this little visit changes things up. Who have you put in my room? That bounder Waring?" "I understand it takes one to know one. Lucas is not a bounder, as you must know. Why am I talking? You are not here." Lucas was, in fact, assigned a bedroom across the hall. Addie didn't trust a mere connecting door to stay shut all night long, and in her well-run household, servants were apt to be scurrying down the corridor at any moment at a guest's whim, discouraging all attempts of Addie's to be naughty herself. She was not ready to be a merry widow anyway, despite Lucas's tentative blandishments. Rupert wasn't cold in his grave. Apparently, Rupert wasn't in his grave. Rupert smiled ruefully. Could an apparition be rueful, or was Addie really unconscious, perhaps on her deathbed, suffering from heat stroke or a regular stroke or some kind of tea-induced hallucination? Cook could easily have put poisonous leaves in the pot in retaliation for the menu adjustments. She was set in her ways and had been at Compton Chase since the dawn of time. Addie had only just turned 31, much too young to die in the usual course of things. However, the past few months had been more than difficult for her, too, even apart from Rupert's death. "I admit I bounded in my time. Poor Addie, I wasn't much of a husband, was I?" "Please go away. I haven't time for this." In 10 minutes, there would be a dozen houseguests downstairs in the great hall admiring its 2-story, multi-paned window and having cocktails without her, and Lord knows she needed one.